Welcome to Stories Untold, the home of good news. I am your host, Buleo Molebati. Thank you for choosing us as your source of information. Today, we relay the story of author, motivational speaker, and life coach, Sanele Gamede. Sanele has had his fair share of traditional way of learning, but he never gave up until he had his qualification, which he now uses to empower young people. We begin with where it all started with him.
Sanele had already completed his grade 12 when he decided that it was not enough.
My educational journey is a very interesting one. Doing grade 10 twice, grade 11 twice, and grade 12 twice was quite very tough. I passed my first matric. It's just that I didn't pass well. I will have to indicate that I passed, but I didn't pass well in a way that I can be accepted at tertiary.
Finally, at varsity, Sanele's new struggles creeped in and he had to find a way to survive yet again.
Funny enough, as much as I was funded at university, I wasn't funded, I would say, luxuriously, if I may put it in that way, because I got paid for tuition, I got paid for rest and books. But coming back from a rural area, from a family that couldn't afford to even give me umpago, it meant I need to find other means of surviving. I moved to selling fruits. I wanted to supplement my income. Ngavula isitolo eRes. That's where things got serious. Isitolo called Kwankuku Ziyakhalelana, a very unique name, which also is very symbolic to say ngicela ningikhalele ngoba la ngizama ukuphanta nani ngiyanilekelela. And I helped so many young people abebefuna ama-condom lekuseni ngo-2, which I think I saved so many young people from early pregnancy. So I think surviving a university, that was the strategy. But the most fortunate part is that I've never failed even a single module at university.
Whilst busy with his studies, Sanele met a girl and a story of a young love began.
I knew there's something here, and then I asked her out in the language Yamanje, and my cousin helped me convince her, and she said yes. From there, I think it's 15 years ago, from there we kept in touch, we dated up until a figure at university. Fortunately, she moved to South Africa as well, and she had to study as well. And I was playing a key role nasempilweni yakhe while she was still in high school and while she was at university.
A man in love, Sanele did the unthinkable with the girl of his dreams. His childhood friend, who was also his groomsman, led us in on this love story.
Kwakuyi-risk ngempela ayithathe yabo, because ukuhlala nomuntu owokuqala nje ungavunyelwa ukuthi ahlale khona wayengaxoshwa eRes yabo, kuthi wahamba uphula imithetho and uyazi nawe ukuthi akuhlala nomuntu uma uhlala wedwa kumele uhlale wedwa litha le muntu wesifazane yabo. Kodwa ngoba kwakumuntu I think owayebona ikusasa nosisi bahlala baze bashada khona eRes. Umfundisi wakwinsizwe engiyaziyo naye uSanele wayemazi kodwa wayengekuclose kakhulu kunaye, mina wamjwayele. So I think kwabalula bangengichazela ukuthi mfethu kunensizwe la umngane wami ifuna ukushada yawo. So idinga isibusiso samfila inqangi. So-ke naye njengomuntu wenkolo futhi wabona ukuthi hayi le ndoda mayifuna ukuthatha lesinqumo ngeke ngikwazi ukuma endleleni yayo.
Ukuthandana kwethu size sifike la khona sishada khona. I think decide ukuthi sishade saseresi sihleli, and there was no one who convinced us ukuthi we need to get married. Of course ngizalwa umfundisi, and ukukipita into engavumelekile noma engekho right because ngisindisiwe. So kwasekuqala kuba nomsindo left and right ukuthi nje hayibo usindisiwe kodwa ukipitile nayo yonke lonto leyo, because into ngicabanga ukuthi ubaba wayengeke afise ngisho ukuyizwa. Then we decided to get married, went to Home Affairs, we got married, we found our weaknesses, they signed, we found a pastor, but it was quite a journey now. Ukuthandana kwethu, it had its own ups and downs, but we survived.
Sanele's dreams have always mattered, and when he graduated with his PhD early this year, nothing could have been far from the statement that dreams do come true.
Achieving a PhD was a great moment. It's still something really, really great. I'm still digesting it because when I look back, at the age of 32, I have a PhD after doing grade 10 twice, grade 11 twice, and grade 12 twice. That, for me, is God's grace. There are so many young people who would like to be where I am.
Welcome back to Stories Untold. A quick recap of what you saw in the first segment of our show is we went back to what inspired Sanele Gamede to do what he does and how he made it as a student, acquiring his matric as well as a qualification that he now uses to empower young people. We now find out who are those people and what impact has Sanele had in their lives.
With an interesting backstory of his journey to get to the top, Sanele was intentional about becoming a learning canvas to those coming after him and his peers as well.
As a youth life and a career coach, someone who has to help young people, I started a program which I think it stems from my journey. Yokusuka emakhaya ngisebenza kanzima, having the struggle that I've went through. I decided, you know what, I need to help young people. There is a need. I wrote a book called The Graduate Pack, a practical guide for job seekers. I didn't even know it was a book up until I published it, which I have helped so many young people through it. I do job readiness workshops, I do employability coaching, like one-on-one or in groups, where I speak to young people. I visit different events to go and speak. And funny enough, I didn't realize that I'm a speaker. I didn't name myself an educational motivational speaker. I wasn't the keynote speaker that now I'm referred to. At the time, all I was doing was to help young people. And I am so happy that I ended up helping so many young people, even outside the country, through the program and through some of the initiatives that I do, including my wife as well.
The Gamete's love story continues to thrive even in business.
After she finished her degree, it was a struggle. I was still struggling at the time. I didn't have a permanent job as well. And I didn't recognize that she is depressed. I used to wake up and leave her in the room thinking I will come back and she's okay. And she was good in hiding it. So I realized that she's stressed. She started failing to hide it. And I realized that there was something that I needed to do. Fortunately, I started a business with her, and I helped her start a sewing business, which I think came about from experience yakhe ekuthungeni. Back in the days in high school where she studied, they used to do home economics. So she fell in love with sewing, but she didn't pay attention because she wanted geography and environmental management, which unfortunately she didn't get a job for it. I bought 2 machines for her. We started working here in the house. You can imagine having a machine, ikhala, and fortunately in a very short space of time, she's now having a well-established, she have hired people, she's teaching young people how to sew, and I'm quite involved in assisting, and I'm very happy that when they say charity begins at home, I'm very happy that my mentorship and coaching, it starts here at home. I've managed, if you were to ask for my success story, she's one of the success stories because she now buys me lunch. I made a promise that for every student that is going to sign up for her sewing classes, we are going to help them establish their own business. And Unontsigelelo is one of an amazing testimony on studying or learning how to sew, and she's very brilliant because she learned so quickly and she loves sewing, and now she have started her own sewing, and I saw a dress that she did for her mom, and it's quite amazing.
We visited Nontikelelo's studio and she had this to say about her encounter with the EPS Sewing School.
I met Dr. Gamede through my mother, through work, and from then discovered that his wife has actually opened a clothing store. And from that store, they do classes, sewing lessons, and that's how I discovered that whole avenue. One thing that attracted me with their classes was that I could go at any time. There's flexibility, whether you are a student, as I said I am, or you are working, or whatever the case may be, they're able to facilitate that for you. So that's what I liked about that, and it's been a really, really great journey here.
Another one of Sanele's success stories is Nontogozo.
Unontogozo is one of the recipients of the job readiness workshops that I do, and one of the people that I have helped with employability coaching. And fortunately, she's one person who didn't even pay for it. So, and she was very hungry. And when I asked her how she heard about me, she said, "Sanele, I heard on radio, and I knew I had to meet this person. I knew I had to get that book." And fortunately, the municipality, one of the departments within the eThekwini municipality, supported that initiative, and they all got copies of that book. And finally, when she told me, "Sanele, I got the job," I was so excited because I sat down with her and I said, "You know what, within 30 days, I'm expecting results if you are going to implement exactly these steps that I'm sharing with you." And within 30 days, she shared with me that, "Sanele, I've got a permanent job."
Ukuhlangana no Dr. Sanele Gamede, ngisho nje ukuthi kwangisiza kakhulu. Because I remember ukuthi wathi meqeda ukukhuluma sesiqedile, and then wasephuma phandle ngenza sure ukuthi nje ayepha ukuthi ngibe ne chat naye ke. Since ngimuze emsakazweni, now sengiyabona ukuthi okay, this guy, and then meqeda ngathi nje I will make a chance ukuthi ngihlale ngikhulume naye after some seqedile, then that is why sahlala phansi sakhuluma naye, saxoxisana nje ngambuza just few things. Kodwa nje from ever since I met him, and then ngabona ukuthi no, I have to follow this guy. So nje angikaze ngihlukane naye kuze kube namhlanje.
One of Sanele's community projects is Mentorship at the Park, which is very close to his heart. He tells us more about this project.
The free mentorship at the park for me is very important for it ukuthi ibe semakhaya, because I come from a deep rural area, an area where no one think there is a possibility of a young person reaching a PhD where I am today. So it is very important for me, and I still wish I can partner with so many NPOs that are in deep rural areas so that we can help our young people, so that we can coach and mentor and provide life skills. I think the rural areas, they resonate with me because I come from rural areas.
Thank you once again for being here. A quick reminder of the importance of living a life of service. It's only when you venture into that you see a ripple effect. You touch one person's life and they touch other people's lives. We continue with the story of author and motivational speaker Sanele Gamede.
Sanele's mentor, who also officiated his wedding, is proud of the man that he has become.
Phakathi kwezinye zezinto engizenzayo ngumholi ebandleni bese ngizoba i-community leader ngisho ngithi mangithi activist ayizwakali kahle kodwa ukuba isakhamuzi esibambe iqhaza ekudevelopeni ikakhulukazi intsha siqinisa kakhulu ohlangothini lokuthi bakhe imindeni eqotho, stable families. Usanele ngamdiscover i-relationship yethu njengaleyo ye-mentee mentor ngoba yena uyi-mentor kuma-leaders ama-imageayo amaningi abe-role model kubona. Into engayisho ebonakalayo empilweni yakhe ilento esingayibiza ngokuthi passion, ukuba i-driver, ivelu esibiza nge-sense of ownership. Ukuba ubengenayo ngabe wahlala emuva sitting back allowing impilo ukuthi kube yona imdirectayo abe ilento esingabiza phecelezi passenger empilweni umuntu oya noma kuyiphi direction ohamba ngama currents akhona and ilokho engadiscover ngaye engibona ukuthi akayena umuntu o-driver ama-trends e-YouTube njengamanje kwenzakalani kodwa umuntu o-goal orientated oyazi into ayifunayo and once what decide ukuthi this is what I'm after he pursues that and ayikho into engamvimba sekuachieveni ama-goals akhe empilweni. Abantu abaningi mangabe bepursuisha ama-studies at that level baye baphoqeleka ukuthi let go of their families and forget about their children and forget about their wives so that bakwazi uku-achieve his ability to balance and keep the family intact and much stronger at a time when he has been pursuing ama-goals akhe ikakhulukazi le PhD iyona engasho ngithi iprovile ukuthi he is a leader indeed because uzame konke okusemandleni ukuthi abalansise anganeglect i-responsibility yakhe ikakhulukazi towards ingane yakhe nonkosikazi wakhe during the time abe present in their lives whilst busy ngama-community programs angadedeli and also fighting to make sure that he gets a PhD yakhe. Those things are really, really outstanding. He had a lot of financial issues as well to deal with. From ukusuka kwi-masters with a PhD, having not now a stable job, but at the same time, finally provided for the family yakhe, abuild, abe responsible ekhaya, abuye futhi ati take care of my studies yakhe. And those are things that make me think he's such a resilient individual who is a fighter indeed.
The people in Sanele's life are inspired by his work and they believe in the greatness that he is capable of becoming.
Let me make something.
Usanele bengivele ngibona ukuthi i-PhD into ayifuna because wayisho sifika nje yabo sekwenza first year ukuthi yena ufuna ukufunda afike ekugcineni aqoke ijazi elibomvu yabo so noma yini ezokwenzeka endleleni wayezoqinisekisa ukuthi ugcine efikile. Usanele umuntu abade ngishilo iqela umuntu o-pragmatic, umuntu uyidoa yabo uyenza yabo ingakho noma kwakukhona ingqinamba ezikhona esikoleni whether it's finance or ezokuthi uhlala nomuntu kodwa zimvimbanga ukuthi akwazi ukuqeda undergrad yakhe aqede postgrad yakhe yokuqala nesibili aqede after PhD.
Dr. Gumede is doing a great job. I follow him on his social media pages. I also work with him in some of the projects on youth development, the graduate placement pledges that he has done to say he'll be pledging. I think he's placing about 50 graduates in 1 year. He's doing a great job. Sanele, as much as he's older now, but he's still within the age group where maybe the youth of today, can still sit and listen to him when he's trying to coach and to mentor. So I would really, really encourage parents to, allow their kids to go out and get proper coaching and mentorship, and they get to be directed in terms of their careers and skills, because what's happening right now, they end up being following whatever, what they believe, as kids and as youth is the way, because they are limited to what they know. But if you let them, give them that kind of exposure to people like Dr. Kumete, who is investing his time in youth development and skills development and mentoring the youth, I believe that, we'll be doing our kids a great favor, in doing that.
Dr. Sanele Kamete, ngiyakubonga kakhulu ngokuthi ungisize njengomuntu omusha obasamncane graduate ngingasebenzi. Ever since ngahlangana nawe, we have changed my life completely. Ziningi izinto ongifundise zona as a life and a career coach, and a youth and a life and career coach. So ngiyabonga kakhulu. Impilo yami nje njengomuntu omusha oyigraduate uyisizile, wangibeka la ngikhona njengamanje ngiyasebenza, ngithola umsebenzi through usizo lakho, wahlala nami phansi, wangicoacha, wangidevelopa, wangiqeqeshela ukuthi even if sengiya kwi-interview ngidinga ukuthi ngenze kanjani. So I actually did that, Sanele, and then I appreciate you ukuthi ngoba ngakwazi ukuthi ngikulalele. And then namhlanje ngikwelinye izinga, ngiyasebenza, and I'm still looking forward to greater things as uhlezi usho ukuthi it's possible because it's doable.
And that brings us to the end of the show. Remember, we do this again, same time, same place. From myself, Pule Molebati, and the rest of the team. Goodbye.